So today's project, we are going to service the winches. I do believe this is a very important safety factor on any cruising boat. You really have to make sure that they're working well. I do them once a year. Some people say you could do them twice a year, depends on how hard they've been worked, or if you've got a wave over top of them, or if you have any kind of indication that there's something wrong. So we're going to take this winch apart. This is a beautiful Lewmar 46. We've got 3 of these and then 4 bigger ones around the boat. Altogether, it'll probably take a couple of hours. Now to get ready to go, I've got my tools out over here. I've also got the manual up, just in case you have trouble remembering where things are. I put the manual up on my Raymarine plotter. This shows the expanded diagram of how everything is supposed to go back together. Neat feature of the plotter, and I've got it sitting outside, so PDF on the plotter, we're ready to go. So to start with, these Lewmar winches can take apart entirely by hand, which I think is a very cool feature. And we're going to put it all down here on this board, all neatly in order, so we remember how everything goes back together. Okay, and the winch body itself, and there'll be bearings might fall out of here. No, the bearings have stayed down, that's no worries. The winch body. Now we have the big thrust bearings here. They look in pretty good shape. I will stand them over here. And then with the bearings off, we're now going to take the pawls apart, and you can take this cover off. And this winch takes apart entirely with no tools, which I think is really cool. Everything's just pulled apart, pins out. Okay, there's a couple of clips, and we take out the center drive shaft.
Next, we remove the bearings and the gears. In this case, 2 gear pawl assemblies, 1 for each speed.
Okay, so we're going to be taking the pawls out and checking to make sure that they're fine, servicing them with a little bit of light oil, putting it all back together. So here's the pawls. We're going to just open this up briefly to take a look. So this is one of the most important things to service. And you take these apart, careful that you don't lose the springs. They seem pretty good. And they just want oil. It's very important. This is one of the most important things with servicing a winch, is that this area where the pawls go around in here has got to be completely clean from grease. And we're just going to have a very light oil back in, and these pawls have to be free moving and in good shape. Replace them if they're not, and similarly these springs should be replaced pretty regularly. Make sure they don't have any rust or anything. The pawl goes back in with the spring in place. The pawl is just going to go slide down in its little hole. And then the spring is usually the hard part to just sort of fiddly get it in. Once you've done a couple of these, they go pretty quick. Just lining that spring up, and the pawl slips in. That's in good shape. You need a bit of light oil, so this is only machine oil on these. Okay, so the pawls are working great, and you can just generally turn it as you insert them, and it'll put it all in. Beautiful. Okay, so we're just reassembling gears, the main shaft, and the 2 little pins to hold it up. So every winch will be different. So you just want to, I say, learn your own winch and have a diagram handy. These little pins, in this case the Lewmar winches, hold the shaft up. There we go. Now I put some new grease into the bearings. These ones really didn't need much of anything. They're good to go. Winch body goes on top. And this takes the wave guide. Tighten the cap on. Check around that there's no spare pieces left over. Everything's good to go. Sounds perfect. Check over the diagram makes sense, and happy hour.
Come aboard for the entire voyage. Collect the whole Distant Shores series on DVD and plan your own escape.